What's up guys, Chanso here, and today I have another ranked gameplay for you guys. This is actually a dual ranked gameplay. Also my friend Irats, who's playing as Wukong and playing as Yasuo. So this is a pretty decent combo. We do have a mage support Janna as well, which helps with knockups. Nasus in the Baron lane, and we have Varus as our ADC. Very interesting composition. We do have quite a lot of combo potential, which is pretty scary. Enemy team has, well, they have a lot of scaling. They have two ADCs in the form of the support ADC Senna. The Tristana as a ADC as well. They have Mundo in the Baron lane, and they have E as the jungle, obviously, which is kind of meme. And I'm going against Ken in the mid lane. Pretty interesting. So obviously you probably might be wondering like why I'm doing this. Like I normally play jungle. For those who are kind of new to the channel, welcome. But this is not really my main role. But somehow my friend was like, yeah, just give me jungle. He wants to power farm his way, so I'll let him do it. I do have pretty much confidence in winning my lane in most situations, because at this elo really, which is plat, a little bit of gold, depending on matchup really, I think I do pretty decent. So when going against range matchups as a Yasuo, what I like to do, even though I don't have that many games, ranked games at least on him, is to really play safe, right? I don't really know his limits too much, so I will be very very careful about what I'm doing, and I always trade if I have my shield. And the good thing obviously is that cannon is kind of weak. Obviously in that opportunity I definitely could have looked for a chance to trade early on after that knockup. I didn't actually go for it, but I want to go for a safe play, so cannon actually traded back pretty aggressively, which is kind of interesting. The Nasus actually got killed by the Mundo there. Wukong did manage to get it, but he's gonna get cornered by the Wukong. And here it is interesting. So I was actually under level, but I do manage to get a cannon eventually. So that was pretty great. And for those who are a bit curious about runes, obviously you can probably tell I'm using bone plating. It works really well, especially if you have if you're laning against a lot of burst damage champions, or even champions that like to poke you from afar. In range versus melee matchups, I think is also especially good. Like in this case, melee, because I can just constantly get hit, and this will really help me save my HP bars as much as possible. It allows me to trade a little bit more aggressively in my shield. Not that I want to do it really, because I'm not that good on Yasuo, at least to know the matchup well enough. But that's what the idea is. So I did go back, I did manage to get a kill, so this is kind of good for me. The cannon's already behind, so cannon has to be very careful. Obviously I do get stunned here, but it's fine. Unfortunately don't get a cannon here, which kind of sucks really. But I already have my stinger and I have a cloak of agility, component items for the Solari Chargeblade, going for the first item. So Wukong actually wanted me to engage. Obviously that guy was just like, I don't know, Wukong just waiting for me to do something. Then obviously Cannon just kind of knew what's up, right? He's kind of low, he's not gonna do it. So I wasn't really able to get much out of it, to be honest. If he engaged first, probably might have worked out a little bit better. Then obviously I'm already so much stronger than Cannon. I just need to be careful not to overextend. Very easy to do that on Yasuo really. I think that's the biggest challenge. So I'm just respecting the distance and respecting that I don't have vision in my bushes, right? So I'm not gonna go past the middle line. Sometimes not even go past that. I take a lot of damage here. I was just planning to do a simple trade, and here comes the Mondo. He smited me. I mean, he ignited me, and I'm just gonna die. Definitely not the best thing. I definitely could have just waited out. I was just very tempted by the wave. Not the best idea to do. I do lose my stuff, but I do know that the cannon has no flash up, so I told the Wukong. He just got it up really, so I told him that you could just take it really. I was coming back, I have my Solari Chargeblade, and this is a huge item spike for Yasuo. I think this item is so big that almost everyone is using it really. If you have attack damage champions, even range, Doesn't matter who you are, you're just using it. People predicted that this will be just for Yasuo, but I think the stats are a little bit too overbuffed or something. It feels just pretty much insane for all the ADCs. So we get this grab for without any contest. And I was like saying we probably can go. Obviously this is not a favorable situation. Heal comes in on the Master E at the right time. But I do get him in the end. I think not the best idea. Our team already kind of backed out our Varus as well as Janna. Not really the best place to engage there. Not the best corner to engage, you could have just pulled back, really. So yet again, I think a little bit of a mistake from my end. Not too big deal. We are a little bit behind the goal, but we do get the dragon, and I'm still ahead in lane. So that's that. So Wukong was just trying to hold the lane a little bit, take a little bit of that. Could have given the sweet tooth, the healing to the Wukong really, but he was gonna go back for his item anyway, so I just took it. So I got my Solari Chargeblade here. And maybe I'm just gonna switch to this display to show what my cooldowns are. And I'm just gonna start out the Herald really. I'm looking for opportunity to stack up my Q. I don't manage to land on knockup, but I know that we can fight this. And the Nasus come around the corner, going on the E. Knockup comes up thanks to Janna. We do manage to get a Mundo immediately. And we can look for another one as well. And Kenneth's gonna die. So that was a pretty decent fight. Obviously, we managed to split it up, and basically we had a knockup, we had a ignite, we went on the we had a Mundo. Definitely not the best idea, obviously, for Mundo to be played. He's not really that strong, but of course he's much better in Baron lane. And I think our Nasus pick against it is actually working out pretty well. So I do take a lot of damage from that, but that's fine. Just gonna go back. And in the process, I'm just gonna take a little bit more farm because nothing much really is going on now. So just gonna take a little bit of that. So Janna somehow is in mid now. A lot of damage onto the cannon. I get stunned. So this is kind of a reminder for me to be very careful around the cannon. And if you look at the enemy comp, they don't really have crowd control except for Senna as well as cannon. A little bit of a knockback from Tristana's ultimate really, but beyond that it's just stuns, it's not knockups. So I was considering, yeah, maybe you can just, go QSS later in the game instead of stasis, because in most situations when you have knockups on the enemy team, the QSS not really help you too much. So Janna powered me up here. Nothing much going on. I just cleared a wave, and Nasus is being pushed in by the Mundo really, so I'm just gonna flank around from the back. In terms of lead, I'm definitely ahead, so I just go ahead. I have my items. I do have ignite as well, and we do get it. So Nasus is actually behind Mundo, which is kind of interesting. We kind of expected Nasus to do pretty well against Mundo. Mundo doesn't have that big of a challenge to Nasus really. So we're just gonna take this down. Meanwhile, on the enemy team, they do manage to trade on this one. I think this is a good idea from them. They definitely traded out pretty well. In hindsight, maybe I could have gone back and tried to defend it. Might have worked out really, but now because of that, the enemy team is very, very overextended. You see the cannon is overextended as well, and they take a stun, just waiting for the opportunity. Unfortunately, don't let the knockup. The knockup comes in line, but that was a really short knockup. I didn't manage to catch it, unfortunately. If I caught it, the cannon was probably dead. But that's okay, I still have my R at this point. Wukong doesn't have his. But I'm just waiting for an opportunity to use my Q. And my Q does not connect that one. But our team is kind of split up now. And here comes a knockout onto the E, very nicely done by the Janna. No competition for our dragon, but our Wukong is really low. And unfortunately, Mundo did get it in the end. My friend's not really a jungle main, his smite is kind of questionable. And I do manage to get a double kill, which is really nice for me. So this is kind of, I'm ahead, and I'm ahead quite a bit. So I just tried to want to give some to Nessus before taking, but he was taking way too long. So I just decided to take it on my own. So we take a tower because of that fight. We lost the dragon, but we do take that tower. And Baron spawned out in about 13 seconds. I do have quite a lot of gold. Cash it in right now. Pick up the Blade of the Rune King. And I was thinking, yeah, let's get a Wood's End as well. I have a lot of cash coming in. There's a lot of magic damage from Cannon as well as Mundo. Another consideration for me was to just rush Guardian Angel really. But I really wanted the resistance, and you can see in terms of farm, the Senna is not that farm. Obviously the Tristana is pretty farm, but I can delete Tristana really easily as well. And here comes a very interesting opportunity for me, right? So everybody's here. It's a huge 4-man knockup. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's even a 5-man. I probably had to reload that. That was pretty insane. So Anasis was actually out of position and he got caught. But the Varus came in with a flank from the back. I stepped back. I did manage to use my Q into basically everyone, and that was a huge knockup. So I'm pretty proud of that one. Pretty interesting setup, and it was definitely not intended by the Nessus. I'm quite sure he was just gonna get caught, and the enemy team was like, yeah, let's just focus the Nessus down. And I don't think it was the wrong play. They didn't really expect it to happen. You can see, in terms of build, the Nessus also build kind of strange. Yes, more promotions into blade armor, which is like what? Anyway, a lot of damage coming in. I look for it as well. A lot of people jumping back. Flash is popped on both teams. The Janna popped the flash. Senna popped the flash as well. But nothing much going on. We still have Baron alive, and we don't want to take any chances. After all, this is basically low elo, so saw the master in the corner. I wanted to go for it. No one really was following me. I saw the E on his own, and I'm just gonna go for the wave instead. Right, just don't do too much when you don't have a lot of vision, really. Just water the Baron casually. Take a few steps, stack up my Q, stack up my Solari Chargeblade. I think this is really helpful, really, because as you can see, I actually didn't build Infinity Age, so I don't actually have 100% crit. I have 50%, and if I stack it up, I basically have 100%. So I'm just gonna try and make it stay at 100% for as long as possible. And personally, I think for Yasuo, I mean, for my perspective, I think IE is an optional item. Like for example, in the very late game, I think you will swap out Solari Chargeblade for something else, because after that the true damage may not be as significant. Of course, it's still useful, but our Nessus here actually got ganked, and if I swap out Solari Chargeblade, I can take other things, so I can have my 2 crit items anyway, and maybe I'll get more value of it. So it's a huge R by the Varus right here, and I do out the Tristana. I take a lot of damage. You can see where the QSS actually helps me out, because the cannon is trying to destroy everybody. I'm just gonna dash out immediately. I'm really too low to do anything, and our team has done pretty well. I mean, Varus is just kind of destroying them now, so since we all hit, right, so he's still kind of healthy. So the E as well. I don't actually have R at this point. I told my jungler, I was like, yeah, you can go in, but it's basically all you. I can't even reach this guy, and he did get a kill, but he lost his life for that. So not the best idea. It's a little bit of a trade, but you can see this cannon's not respecting my distance. I mean my damage and my level advantage. So I'm just gonna, just bash him out, right? So I still haven't used my ultimate, but there's a lot of damage from everybody really. So I'm gonna play it safe and step back. So we see the ward. The enemy team decides not to contest. The E is not even nearby. We saw Senna, we saw the Tristana, And Nasus did take the dragon in the end. Our jungle wasn't here either. But that's fine. We are already ahead. Just gonna move on. Looking for opportunity, but I don't want to go too far forward, really. Playing very safe now because even though I do a lot of damage, I'm also kind of squishy at this point. Both teams are pretty farmed up, really, and you can see Tristana's kind of fed as well. Obviously, not as fast as I am. But here comes E. I just ignite him. Take a lot of damage here. Monos tries to kill me. I know that I'm taking a lot of damage from the wave. Use my cleanse. QSS comes in. Varus comes in as well, and that's a pretty nice cleanup there. You can see why Varus is such a good thing into a lot of the heal composition, such as Mundo here, because he has grievous wounds on his W, I believe, so that's really useful. And eventually we just get a Baron, like just a natural thing to do at this point. We're very far ahead. That's not really much of a risk for us. We just want to play this very safe play, so we're gonna go for the Baron. You can see in terms of build, I'm basically full build. I do have one more item to complete. I did manage to get Executioner's Calling, which I will clean up to Mortal Reminder, or alternatively I can clean up to Randuin's. I can sell it out for Randuin's Omen, or even Blade Armor. Unfortunately, our team is kind of trolling a little bit. I mean, they did manage to get a fight eventually, but a lot of people did. Right, I didn't really manage to do anything. And Nasus died as well, so it's kind of interesting, and we're taking a lot of tower shots. But that will basically be the game. I mean, our team just won the fight without me, really, and it's fine. So I'm just trying to stack my Q, looking for opportunity, and I out the Senna. But that will be the game. So GG, well played. We had a pretty interesting 5-man ultimate, I believe, in the mid game, and that was kind of a huge deal. Obviously, winning lane early on was a big deal as well to help Yasuo out. Like winning the lane by getting a kill means that you win the lane every instance after that if you play it right. So that will basically be it. Obviously, I think Cannon, to be honest, I think is a pretty decent option. I just think that in the mid lane he's not really the best because his early game is kind of shit, and you need a long lane for him to be able to exercise his potential. Obviously, the Cannon also didn't really play that well. I think he could have done a lot more in terms of wave clear, because I don't think I would have had so much opportunity or so much of a window to do what I just did. But other than that, you can see even though my friend decided to pick the Sun, or basically Wukong over here, I kind of mixed it up somehow. But anyway, even though he decided to pick Wukong, it didn't really help me out in terms of combos too much. Obviously, I really benefited a lot from the Janna combo, and in general I think as long as you have 2 or more knockups on your team, it should be a pretty decent pick for Yasuo for the most part. The main reason it's not really seen too much is because he is kind of hard to play, obviously, and more importantly than that, he is very easy to get caught out, and he needs to set up right. You need to set up with your 2 stacks of Q first before you can guarantee you can fight anyone. And in terms of damage, he doesn't output that much during the ultimate on his own. He only outputs more after the ultimate. So in terms of the big scale team fights that typically occur, it's not really the best idea. So but you know, your standard rank games here, low elo, it kind of works out as well. And then maybe you're really good, you can go all the way up to challenger level. I mean, it's definitely possible, but not at my level. If you have any ideas on how to improve, do let me know as well. And this is Yasuo signing off. We'll see you guys next time.